Test 1, 2, 24 minutes to go here. Brian Gregg, as we're here in beautiful Tigard, Oregon, home of the Tigers. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Let me know, Joe, you can hear me back there. Let me know, Joe.
Thanks for the ride. I'll see you after the game.
Hey,
Dear Katie, I've been your #1 fan since I watched your first game all those years ago, and I still love watching you play. But I wanted to see you win so badly that my competitive nature got the best of me. I lost track of what's important. I thought I was supporting you, but I was really just embarrassing you. I'm not your coach, and I'm not an official. I forgot my role. I'm your parent, and you deserve better. From here on, I promise to keep my emotions under control. I'll cheer for you and all the other players, no matter the score, no matter the outcome. Thank you for sharing with me how I can do a better job of supporting you, your team, your coaches, and the sports you love. Still your #1 fan. Love, Dad.
Choose a company that best represents you and our local community.
choose a company that focuses on relationships rather than transactions.
Choose a company that empowers their employees and provides growth opportunities from within.
Choose a company that shows compassion and rises to the occasion in times of need.
Call a John L. Scott broker today.
Any time is a good time to plan your funeral, except at the time of the funeral. At Conger Morris, we know that there are so many advantages to planning ahead. It eases the burden on our families at their worst time. Pre-planning also alleviates their stress, knowing the funeral costs are already taken care of. And it allows your service to be more meaningful, with all of your wishes being taken care of. Call us today for personalized assistance in creating your own plan. Conger Morris, we'll always be there.
Diverse venues, we got them. Year-round sports access? You bet. Race cars, soccer, paragliding? Check, check, check. Medford has it covered as your sport ground, where the West Coast plays.
Okay, you know how people complain about how Dutch Bros workers are like too nice, too hyper, compliment you too much, whatever? Maybe you're not nice enough. Maybe you need to get a little Dutch Bros in you.
Discover the West Coast destination for those seeking more. More sunny days, more athletic facilities, more outdoor adventures, more to do during downtime. Medford is your sport ground, where the West Coast plays.
And a very happy August 31st, 2023 to you and your families. However you may be watching, however you may be listening, we're glad that you decided to spend your Thursday night with us right here on the NFHS Network, produced and powered by Table Rock Sports Productions. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting football season here in 2023. Table Rock in their 31st year, bringing coverage and now live coverage all around the world. And how exciting tonight as head football coach Nathan Chin brings up his Black Tornado up I-5, and as the Tigard Tigers welcome in a team from Southern Oregon that's been knocking on the door for many, many years, and they have their first test here tonight as two top 15 teams will go at it. One of these teams will find out what is their strengths. One will find out what are their weaknesses. So we got ourselves a showdown right here at Tigard High School. When we come back, I'll welcome in our second member of the broadcast team. I'm Brian Gregg, and we'll welcome in Scott Paul when we come back. Live coverage here at Tigard High School as we're here in the Lithia Superstore pregame show powered by CC Cellular of Southern Oregon. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
What do you do when a loved one has been wrongfully injured or killed? It's simple. Just go to letusfightforyou.com. That's it. Letusfightforyou.com, helping Oregonians get justice for over 40 years.
Pick it up. Let's go. Come on. Defense. Defense. What am I teaching you at home? Has this kid played before? Shoot it. Oh. Ah. Come on, ref. Open your eyes. Can't you see out there? So, which one's your kid?
The referee.
You can be a parent, athlete, coach, or an official, but you can only be one. Know your role.
So what do you do when you can't work because you were injured on the job? Easy. Just go to letusfightforyou.com. That's it. Letusfightforyou.com, helping Oregonians get justice for over 40 years.
Welcome back into Robert Gray Stadium, home of the Tigers here in beautiful Tigard, Oregon. Just off of 99 and 217 on a, feels like a late fall weather here early with some rain. Mother Nature came through this morning up here, but as the clouds off to the south start to potentially move south, we may escape any heavy showers here this evening, but Mother Nature still keeping the spigot on just a hair. Certainly a piece that you really can't worry about, you really can't control. But what we can control is I can welcome in our second member of the broadcast team here, the coach, Scott Paul. And Coach, it's great to have you back up here in the broadcast booth. It just seemed like we were just calling state championship games just last fall, but put those in the record books. Now we got the Black Tornado and Tigard High School are going to tangle it up here this evening. How exciting it is for these players to finally have the chance to stop hitting each other. Now they have a chance to try to hit somebody else.
Well, Brian, it's just really exciting to be back for another great year of high school football. Starting football in August is not the normal, but we're starting on the last day of August, and it feels like fall. Got a little bit of rainy weather out there. Maybe have a few more turnovers than normal, but hey, it's high school football. Student bodies pouring in. They're excited, and here come the Tigard Tigers.
Coach, let's talk about these. You mentioned the August 31st early in the year, 2 top 15 teams in the coaches poll. Anytime you have a chance to play a team that is equally matched to you out of league, you certainly have an opportunity to see what your areas that you do very well, and then there's obviously the wrinkles that you probably need to work out. Talk about, Coach, what it means for you to try to get the guys fired up, coming in on the road, playing a team that many people know across the state. What is Coach Chin telling his young man in the locker room here?
Well, it's been a long spring and fall camp. They're really excited about hitting each other. So I'm going to tell my players, keep your head, come off your blocks hard, hit the person across the line from you, and mostly have fun.
As we're here, Brian Gregg, Scott Paul, and the Lithia Superstore pregame show powered by Siskiyou Cellular. As Scott Paul alluded to, the Tigers come out onto the field here. So one last question, Coach, and we'll take another break, and then the Black Tornado will likely make their way onto the field here. You got a big name committed to the University of Oregon, A.J. Pugliano, and certainly when you have a Division I caliber type of athlete on your team and then also plays your favorite position on the field and tight end there, talk about what a tight end can do at the high school level when you have an athlete like AJ. You got to assume you're going to get him involved a lot.
Well,
in the
you got to
offense.
get him involved early and often. At the high school level, as you say, the tight end is my man, and so it puts a lot of pressure on both the linebackers and the free safety. They're going to have to probably double team him a couple of times. Watch for him in the flats. So I'm real excited to see how versatile an athlete he is, and University of Oregon, I think, has a good one.
And it doesn't. You obviously don't have success with the big fellas up front. Terrell Kim for the Black Tornado as well has committed to Oregon State as well. So when you have two guys there that are down in the trenches, one that can play out, can catch the football, and obviously one has to block, you have to assume that the running game is going to go right behind big Terrell Kim. That's such an advantage if I'm head coach Nathan Chin.
Well, once again, it's about sustaining those blocks, and on the defensive side of the ball, you're going to have to use your hands, use your head, and your feet, and see if you can disrupt the line. But it's going to be really fun to watch.
Just in case you're joining us, we're here at Tigard High School. Scott Paul here, Brian Gregg, Mike Strickland, the man behind the lens, as we like to refer to him as the wizard. The guy kind of does it all. So we have our national anthem. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about Tigard. Live coverage here at Tigard High School.
Diverse venues, we got them. Year-round sports access? You bet. Race cars, soccer, paragliding? Check, check, check. Medford has it covered as your sport ground, where the West Coast plays.
Okay, you know how people complain about how Dutch Bros workers are like too nice, too hyper, compliment you too much, whatever? Maybe you're not nice enough. Maybe you need to get a little Dutch Bros in you.
Discover the West Coast destination for those seeking more. More sunny days, more athletic facilities, more outdoor adventures, more to do during downtime. Medford is your sport ground, where the West Coast plays.
Welcome back to Tigard High School as the Black Tornadoes make their way out of the dressing room. Coach, we talked about the Black Tornado. Let's talk about the home team, the Tigard Tigers. Certainly a program that's no stranger to success, has had a lot of run deep into the playoffs. They are led by two very good players in Roman Martin, a corner for the Tigard Tigers, has had looks from Mountain West teams as well as Pitt. And then on the offensive line, John Stone has had offers from Washington State and UNLV and some other programs as well. So, again, when you have a guy an athlete that can lock down your best player, I would assume there's probably going to be some sort of wrinkle of taking your best athlete in Roman Martin and an A.J. Pugliano opportunity, and it could almost be a one-on-one. Certainly the offense will dictate what the offense runs, but I have to assume that's got to be a piece that they're going to key in on.
Yeah, I would certainly think so. You know, it'd be a mano, athlete on athlete, and those are the really fun matchups, and I'll be interested to see how that plays out. And I'm going to have my spectacles on those two all night long.
As we're here in the Bills Glasses Coach's Corner. Yeah, Bills Glass been around Southern Oregon for almost 50 years. Locally owned, family run. Bills Glass in Ashland, Medford, and Grants Pass. We're about 3 minutes until we're going to kick this one off. And fans, want to remind you before or after the game is a great time to visit Dutch Brothers and enjoy your favorite beverage. September is Buck for Kids Month at Dutch Bros, where $1 of every purchase goes to local youth and organizations in your community. And also today's game is brought to you by Tap Rock Northwest Bar and Grill in Grants Pass, Elmer's Restaurant of Medford, and the Southern Oregon Sports Commission, and the Know Your Role campaign, promoting respectful behavior at youth sporting events. And also this year, we like to extend a special welcome to Rogue Credit Community Credit Union for their Touchdown Club. Rogue Credit Union will donate $10 for every Black Tornado or South Medford Panther touchdown. Oh. They will give the money back to the community there. So we will make sure that
very generous.
We'll make sure that we highlight Rogue Credit every time they score a touchdown. So if I reference a Rogue Credit touchdown, that's what we'll be referencing there. So both teams taking the center of the field as we hit 1:45, and we're going to kick this one off here. But Coach, you've been around the game for a very long time, and as a coach, you know you have your spring ball, you got your summer workouts, you got your fall camp, you got your daily doubles, and you prepare for the season. As a coach, how much do you just assume they're going to forget, and how much stuff do you really, really focus on? Because there's just so much stuff you have to focus on. You just got to go out and play some football.
Well, you do just have to go out and play some football, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's not a few early penalties. They got all that adrenaline going. They're really excited, and sometimes that adrenaline gets in the way of your brain. And so a lot of coaches will go conservative to start a game to give you a chance to get your football legs underneath you and work up a little bit of a sweat before they air it out.
And want to make sure that we thank John L. Scott for their wonderful contributions and sponsorships, who is our scoreboard sponsor as well. So thank you so much to John L. Scott and all of our wonderful partners. And thank you so much to Joe Brett, executive producer, and the man down at the Epicenter down in Southern Oregon. Thank you so much, Joe. And as both teams head to their respective benches, Coach, we're gonna play some football here. And anytime that you know, you can bust off the cobwebs a little bit, but I really think there's a lot of truth to the fact that running of the football, you know as well as anybody that you have to run the football. And if you can't run the football, it certainly can cause a lot of challenges. So I always like to see at the end of the first quarter is the number of attempts, but as the number I always focus on is what is your down and distance after second down. I think that's a big stat that gets overlooked at the high school level.
Yeah, for sure. That first down is absolutely important. You pick up 5, 6, 7 yards on first down, and it opens up the playbook wide. And you can go to, at that point in time, you can start looking at that tight end and all 6'4", 220 pounds of A.J. Pugliano.
I assume, Scott, that you are going to be calling for his number here all night long. So the Tigard comes out in their traditional home uniforms, green pants, black tops, black tornadoes, all white, red lids. And we are underway here in the 6A 2023 high school football. And the Black Tornado will start out with it. And this time, Damian Horn, the 5'10 senior, brings it out to the 20-yard line. And that's where the Black Tornado will start their season, early season pregame. As we talked about in the Bills Glasses Coaches Corner, that A.J. Pugliano, Terrell Kim, two young men that will continue their high school career and have the opportunity to play at a collegiate level.
Terrell Kim already looks big enough to be already in college, doesn't he?
Terrell Kim, 6'4", 320 pounds down there on that left-hand side. And the Black Tornado really taking their time here to start out this season. Black Tornado are led by Jeremiah Robbins, the 5'10", 190-pound senior. The signal caller will lead the Black Tornado here tonight as Pugliano will go in motion. First play of the season, and the ball is on the turf, and this one's still on the ground. It looks like Tigard is going to pounce on it. Still no sign, and yes, first play of the season. It's a turnover committed by the Black Tornado, and the Tigers will pounce on it. So, Coach, you talked about it, that fumbles and turnovers were going to be a potential narrative here tonight, and we've already seen it.
You see it a lot, especially at the high school level. They're so excited, and they get a little bit out of their rhythm, and I think that's what happened there. It was not a great snap from the center, and unfortunately a costly turnover early, but we'll see if the Black Tornado can stiffen up on defense. Not exactly the way Coach Chin had scripted it.
Nathan Chin, graduate of Southern Oregon University, was a standout quarterback himself, as he's led the Black Tornado for a number of years now. And so the Tigers with excellent field position after a turnover to start the game in the shotgun. Swing pass, far side, flats is open. Trayvon Laird cuts it down to the middle, picks up about 2 yards.
Conservative pass play to start the game. Once again, trying to work up a little bit of a sweat. I'm sure the first series has been already scripted in the locker room before we teed this one off.
Just underway here, 11:21 here in the first. Scott Paul, Brian Gregg, Mike Strickland behind the lens. Glad to have you along here on this August 31st high school football contest. Same play near side this time. And the Black Tornado swarming their way. And a big play there this time coming up from his outside linebacker position. Cameron Nix, the junior, sticking his nose in there.
That was simply a case of numbers. Black Tornado had 4 guys, and they only had 3 offensive players. So it was fortunate for the Black Tornado that they had lined up properly.
And Twins to the top and the bottom in the gun. Black Tornado 4-2 defense here. And here they come. Pressure, looks, throws to the end zone. And this one is overthrown as they were looking for Brian Smith, the 6'4", 225-pound tight end.
Tigard coming out throwing the ball.
It's 3 plays.
Wise to throw that one away. It was well defended by the Black Tornado.
4th down and long. The Tigers have got to get to the 21-yard line to continue this drive after a Black Tornado to start the game, rather.
Oh, I see what you did there.
On 4th down here. 2 to the top, 1 to the bottom. In the I-back formation, Jake Feist, the senior, is a signal caller for the Tigers. And play comes in from the sideline. Looks, now pressure, got to get rid of it and thrown to the same spot. And this one will go out of bounds. So after a disastrous start for the Black Tornado, they hold, and Tigard will give the ball right back to him. Good stand there by the Black Tornado. We'll step aside.
What do you do when a loved one has been wrongfully injured or killed? It's simple. Just go to letusfightforyou.com. That's it. Letusfightforyou.com, helping Oregonians get justice for over 40 years.
Pick it up. Let's go. Come on. Defense. Defense. What am I teaching you at home? Has this kid played before? Shoot it!
Welcome back in after a big stand there by the Black Tornado. Get the ball back on their own 28-yard line. Ball on the turf again. Almost lost it a second time there, Coach. And boy, if you that is a one that gets you a little bit nervous if I'm Coach Chin there.
Yeah, for sure. The timing is just off, and I don't really know. I think it's just nerves. It's early season, and they're excited. I would attribute it to adrenaline and nerves. See if they can settle down. And there was a pretty big hole there. Just couldn't. It's a poor quarterback exchange.
3 to the top. As Robbins swing pass, and this one's going to be intercepted, and this one is going to go all the way back into the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers.
Takes the ball 26 yards.
So the pick 6 for the Tigers. As Colton Ness finds the end zone.
Yeah, the young quarterback just telegraphed that one just too much, and he didn't see that defender. Threw it right to him.
And certainly not a ideal start for the Black Tornado. I've already had 2 turnovers, and we've only played about 4 minutes of football there, Coach.
Turnovers.
As Nico Simonetti will attempt the point after. And that kick is good. So the pick 6 for the Tigers, and they get on the board first. We'll be back after this break.
It's game day or a family get-together. Sherm's has the quality products and prices that will make you cheer. Sherm's Thunderbird Market, Medford's original discount grocery store.
Daily adventures this summer start at Pinnacle 365. Accelerate your day with morning motivation. Freshly ground, swiftly brewed. Add some extra crunch to your lunch with our mouth-watering crispy crunchy chicken. The perfect combination of crispy juicy chicken and irresistible flavors. Earn free rewards and save at least 16 cents a gallon with our Peak Rewards app. Get supercharged and add to your fuel savings when you purchase Core Water, Nestle ice cream, and Red Bull. This summer, let's meet at the Peak and save on our daily adventures.
You want diverse venues? We got them. Year-round sports access? You bet. Race cars, soccer, paragliding? Check, check, check. Medford has it covered as your sport ground, where the West Coast plays.
Colton Ness gets the Tigers on the board here early after the pick 6. And 2 turnovers to start the game for the Black Tornado. And not the ideal start, as mentioned before we went to break, for Coach Chin. But, Coach, as you alluded to before we went to the break, that, you know, when you've been kind of seeing the same wrinkle for the last 2 or 3 months, that, you know, sometimes you can, lose focus per se. And now all of a sudden you're looking at somebody different, and, you know, your assignments start to change a little bit because everything is, in essence, scripted. They're getting ready for the season. Now all of a sudden it's not so much as scripted.
Well, it's all about overcoming adversity, and especially in high school football, because there's always going to be mistakes.
So trips to the top. Ball will be placed at the 33-yard line. Pugliano in motion, the Oregon commit.
Yellow hankies.
And the challenges continue for the Black Tornado. as a false start will be committed. And I think, Coach, that's been a point of emphasis this year, Coach, is when you have a man in motion that he stays set and doesn't go near the line of scrimmage. I think Pugliano got caught on that one. To the top, and handoff inside up the middle as Cameron Nix, the 6-foot junior.
In on the tackle, Tyler Hall, number 6, and number 33, Dane Breen for the Tigers.
And so
Tigers look like they're in their standard defense.
Second and 12, North Medford.
Good-sized linebackers for the Tigers.
Ball at the 31-yard line, trips to the top. And on second down, pressure, spins out of it. Nice move, Traeger. And he will be pushed out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Traeger Healy, the 6'1 sophomore. He'll keep that one. And so that'll bring up a 3rd down and 9. First 3rd down of the game for the Black Tornado.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if the Black Tornado don't do some kind of a draw play here. Obviously a passing play, but I wouldn't be surprised if they go with a draw.
Two to the top. And Healy drops back, looks, throws, good-looking ball. Caught, Pugliano, first down. Cross midfield, brought down at the 44-yard line. And a great throw and catch there, Coach. We talked about it in the pregame show. You got to assume that on those long 3rd downs, Pugliano is going to be the target. And he just showed it right there why he's a Division I player.
Well, he ran a great route. He went like he was going to go to the post, and he put his left foot in the turf and cut outside into the flats, and there he was, wide open.
Great throw
and catch.
And they will continue the drive. As Black Tornado calming down a little bit. Big fella's pulling, give it off, right-hand side, Cameron Nix. And he lowers his shoulder and pushed out of bounds at the 40-yard line. So 2 plays, excellent result.
First down, or second first down, excuse me. The last play was the first down of the game.
Well, before the statistician adds numbers to the Excel spreadsheet, we're going to check the penalty here, Coach.
Oh, Coach Jen has to just be livid.
And yes, the penalty.
Holding, maybe.
As the white hat has not indicated what the penalty was, but the umpire stepping it off, so the ball will go all the way back to the 42-yard line. And yeah, it was a holding call, Coach. So after the excellent run, it is negated.
Penalties and turnovers have been the story early in this ball game.
1st and 20, ball at the 42-yard line. Pugliano in motion. And Traeger hit, eludes it, and now he will be brought down in the backfield. And that time Tigard brought the house, and there was just too many black lids and not enough red lids there's Coach. And Traeger Healy had to do his best, but could not elude the pressure. And so that'll bring up a 2nd down and make it 35.
They can see Wilsonville right out of the corner of their helmet. They're so far away.
Well, again, I'm glad we don't have to drive to Wilsonville. What do you think of that traffic there today, Coach, when you get up here?
Yeah, that 217, they got a lot of construction going on there, and a lot of traffic, a lot of back up traffic.
Well, it's good to have you here. Brian Gregg, Scott Paul, Mike Strickland, Joe Brett back at the mothership. 7:19 here in the first. 2 top 15 teams are knotted up here this evening. Screen pass set up nicely. Cameron Nix, right-hand side. And he'll get all the way to the 35-yard line. Still got about 25 yards until he can reach that first down marker. But good play call there, trying to get something going. And fans, want to remind you, today's game is brought to you in part by Avista Utilities and our friends from Pinnacle 365. Use your Peak Rewards to save on gas and snacks on your next road trip with the team. So on the John L. Scott scoreboard, the Tigers with the early lead after the pick six, taken all the way back to the house as Colt Ness found pay dirt, and that's how we landed on 7 points here in the first. As the Black Tornado trying to get something going here. And a good throw, good catch, and this time it'll be Connor Cesaro, the 6'2 senior, with a nice route on the far side, gets back to near the initial line of scrimmage here, Coach.
Once again, it was a great route by the young man. Tigers were in their two deep zone, and they just went one on, had single coverage on the outside and just went right at him.
But that will not be enough to pick up the first down. So the first punting scenario here this evening for either team, as Tony Martinez will stand at his own 35. And a good punt, and it will take a Black Tornado bounce. And picked up by Roman Martin, and he'll be taken down at the 8-yard line. And that's where the Tigers will start their offensive series. So
what an excellent punt and tremendous coverage downfield.
Coach, let's talk about that previous series there for the Black Tornado. They had a great look there starting. They had some good running plays there, but a penalty certainly negated, and then with the sack in the backfield really made it difficult on that series, having to be forced to punt it away.
It really did. It looked to me like, though, that the Black Tornado had settled down just a little bit, even though they had the costly holding penalty. They looked like they were a little more in sync on that series.
So ball will be placed at the Tigard 8-yard line. As Jake Feist will give it off inside. Black Tornado there. Great push at the front.
A.J. Pugliano in there from his right defensive end. I focused in on him on that play, and boy, does he have great feet.
I'm excited to watch him as he'll head down to Eugene next season. At 6'4", 220, Coach, I have to anticipate that Dan Lanning and strength and conditioning will likely put on a few more good pounds on him, not the pounds that I have.
I think he looks like he has a frame that he could get up to that 250, 255, and as the Ducks enter the Big Ten, having that oversized tight end, defensive end will be critical.
5:30 here in the first. As Tigard taking their precious time to get the play in from their own end zone. Now
Pagliano
pressure
again.
And this time the Tigers will scamper all the way near the 20-yard line and be pushed out of bounds. It looks as though it might be enough for the first down, and it is. The white hat indicating that it was a first down. But, Coach, as you alluded to there, Pugliano coming over from his weak side, just didn't have any help there on the near side.
Yeah, they lost contain on that one.
So the clock will stop at 5:16. And, Coach, speaking of a bit of a rule change, not here at the high school level, but at the collegiate level now, that for many, many years when there was a first down, the chains would obviously stop the clock. Now, with the new rule, it's the new NFL rule. So one certainly that you and I will have to get accustomed to, because your options get limited to stop the clock.
Might have a face mask penalty here. When the young man, A.J. Pugliano, might have been a little over anxious with his hands.
Fans want to remind you, once again, for almost 50 years, Bill's Glass has been the clear choice in Southern Oregon for your home, vehicle, or business needs. Locally owned, family run, Bill's Glass supports our school and communities. And yes, Coach, you saw correctly that it was a face mask penalty against the Black Tornado. So, again, Coach, I don't want to say the word sloppy to start, but that might be the adjective that might be the best way to describe the Black Tornado. So Coach Chin got to get his team settled down a little bit here, because those penalties are certainly going to cost you when you're on the road, especially.
You nailed that on for sure.
So with that face mask, that will tack on 15 more yards after the first down. And this time, pass was attempted but knocked down very nicely this time by Joey Newberg, 6'1", 200-pound senior. And so that will bring up a second down. And I just looked down there at Joey Newberg, and he just looks like an inside linebacker, Coach. Love his tenacity. He plays with his hair on fire. The football field is slanted. He runs downhill. You can see it. Enjoy watching him. So that'll bring up a second down and 10. 4:44 remaining here in the first. Live coverage here at Tigard High School. Great to have you along here on this Thursday evening and a 6 o'clock kick, Coach. So not only do we have a 6 o'clock kick, but also on a Thursday.
I didn't read why the game was on Thursday. Was it because of a shortage of officials? They had to stagger their games on Thursdays and Fridays, do you think?
I can't speak for the Officials Association, but that would certainly not surprise me, where if you're looking to make a few extra bucks there, fans listening, we have a shortage of officials, there's no doubt. Go to osaa.org to get more information. And that'll bring up a third down and 5 here for the Tigers. 3 to the top, 1 to the bottom. Can the Black Tornado get a stop here? Here comes pressure. Looks, throws, and this one is incomplete.
Two Black Tornado players collided right at the point of contact. Oh, I'd hate to see that.
And the pass will be incomplete. As Connor Cesaro will make his way back to the sideline. But in any event, a good stand here by the Black Tornado. And so that'll likely send out the punting unit for the first time here this evening, Coach. And, you know, again, if you were to look at the stats right now, you'd think, my gosh, you know, how is the Black Tornado almost putting themselves in poor positions? But a nice stand there, have an opportunity to get this football back. And as you said, you know, you got a lot of adrenaline. You've been on a bus for 4 hours. You've been hitting the same people. I got to imagine that Coach Chin's going to get his team settled down here.
I already think that they have settled down quite a bit. They look like they're more cohesive. There's not as much finger pointing, and they seem to know what they're doing. So I'm excited to see the Black Tornado kids coming together with they're so well coached.
As Nolan Kelly will stand
delay a game, huh?
At his own 30-yard line. And a delay, actually rather a legal substitution. And so that'll back him up 5 yards. And I want to remind you, Table Rock Sports thanks our great sponsors, including John L. Scott Real Estate and the wonderful presentation with the scoreboard. Our longtime friends at Sherm's Thunderbird and Food for Less in Southern Oregon. 3:54. And a first punt of the game for the Tigers. Low snap. And the lefty. And this will take a Tigard bounce. And it will roll all the way down to the 21-yard line. And that's where they'll take over. We'll step aside. Can the Black Tornado get something going? We'll find out in this next series.
Glass covers the full spectrum of your glass needs and dreams. Having new windows installed by Bill's Glass dramatically update and improves the look of your home and helps reduce energy bills year-round. Let Bill's Glass show you what you've been missing. Bill's Glass, the largest glass company in Southern Oregon for your home and auto, as well as the trusted industry leader for over 50 years. Locally owned, family run, Bill's Glass in Ashland, Medford, and Grants Pass.
Welcome back in here to Robert Gray Stadium here on the campus of Tigard High School. Scott Paul, Brian Gregg, Mike Strickland to my left here. And on first down, and an excellent run this time as Landon Meeker, the 5'10 junior, getting his first carry of the season. And it's a good one to bring up a second down and 4. And Coach, you alluded to it, and I will just emphasize your point that they look much calmer now. They look like a little more cohesive. Don't look like they have that crazy sense of urgency like they started off the game earlier.
Yeah, you see that a lot, especially early in the season.
Traeger Healy, the sophomore, standing at his own 20-yard line. 2 to the top. Throws, bubble screen, far side, open territory, caught. And Connor Cicero picks up the first down. And the Black Tornado finally settling in there after Connor took a bit of a hard hit the previous play on the defensive side of the ball.
That might have been a similar play. That was a similar play to when they threw the pick six, but it looked like quarterback was a little more patient there. Credit the offensive line for doing such an outstanding, giving the quarterback time for that slow developing bubble screen.
I think Connor actually got tied up on that interception there, Coach. I don't think he can make his way around, and that's just a timing play, and I just don't think he was there.
Yeah, he would have been better to eat that sack than force it.
Pugliano to the top by himself. Let's watch him. Traeger Healy looks, throws, yes, caught. Pugliano fighting his way forward all the way down to the 40-yard line. And when you have a one-on-one matchup there, Coach, when you certainly have to take advantage of that when you have a Division I product out there all alone by himself.
Well, they really utilize Pugliano as they should. They've brought him in tight. They've split him out a little, 3 yards. They put him out on the sideline there, so quite a challenge for the Tigers to defend that outstanding athlete.
Bunch formation this time. Pugliano offset to the left, single back, give it. And lowering the shoulder, the big fella up the middle. As Landon Meeker, the 5'10 junior, once again getting his second carry. And Mr. Meeker will give the Black Tornado a first down. So a much more balanced type of series here, Coach. And, boy, you take away that pick six and, you know, really the Black Tornado have, for the most part, played a pretty darn, evenly balanced football game thus far.
They certainly have. And, you don't really know what the rankings mean this early in the season, but it sure seems like we have two evenly matched teams. It makes for exciting high school football.
Pugliano in the slot. Roll out near side. Healy, pressure. Looks, throws, caught, but incomplete. Great effort there by Pugliano. That just ran out of real estate, and so that'll bring up a second down and 10. And, God, Coach, it's just, you can certainly see that when he's out there, it's kind of just put the ball up really anywhere. And with an athleticism and a frame like him, you have to assume that the odds are in your favor if I'm Traeger Healy trying to find an open man.
Well, it's really fun to watch an outstanding athlete.
See the flames over there? Through the trees?
Yeah.
What is that?
Mm-hmm.
I was talking with
got some flames off to the right-hand side. Maybe Mike can get a shot of that here in a little bit. 2 to the top, 2 at the bottom. And ball on the turf this time. Tigers indicating they got it. And yes, they do. Tigard pounces on the loose ball, comes on the turf. Healy was not ready for it, and the second turnover of the game, or rather third turnover of the game. And the Black Tornado give the ball right back. So 3 turnovers here in the first quarter, Coach. Not the way that you envisioned to start your season out.
Wow, that just got to be so frustrating for Coach Jed.
Ball's on the North Medford 42. First and 10
So, it's so easy to overlook the quarterback or the snap, but it's a lot more difficult than what most people realize it is. And the young man just has fumble fingers going on.
So Dave Pedersen, defensive coordinator for the Black Tornado, trying to get his young men fired up, saying, guys, we're going to bail you out. As we go under 1 minute. Swing pass, far side, ball on the turf. Ooh, close to almost looked like a lateral there, Coach.
That was very close.
But an incomplete pass brings us up a 2nd down and 10. 7-0 in favor of the Tigers on the John L. Scott scoreboard. And as we alluded to in the pregame show this year, I want to thank Road Credit Union and the Touchdown Club. Every touchdown scored by the Black Tornado or the South Medford Panthers, they will donate $10 to local youth in the community. So hopefully we can say touchdown Black Tornado here at some point. And keeper this time near side, and Jake Feist will cut it up, put his foot in the ground and get near the 1st down marker.
Hard running by the quarterback.
Certainly got to be a little bit careful there, Coach. Certainly, if I'm head coach Ken Feist, telling your young man, I love the enthusiasm, but I need you out there more than
he took quite a licking there.
As we hit 15 seconds, likely final play of the first quarter. Under center, give it, eye back, near the 1st down marker. And I don't know if he got it there, Coach.
I don't think he got any yardage at all. Looks like the official's marking it right at the line of scrimmage.
So that will bring us to the end of the first quarter as the Tigers on top 7-0. 4th down and 2 when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
Game day or a family get-together. Sherm's has the quality products and prices that will make you cheer. Sherm's Thunderbird Market, Medford's original discount grocery store.
Daily adventures this summer start at Pinnacle 365. Accelerate your day with morning motivation. Freshly ground, swiftly brewed. Add some extra crunch to your lunch with our mouth-watering crispy crunchy chicken. The perfect combination of crispy juicy chicken and irresistible flavors. Earn free rewards and save at least 16 cents a gallon with our Peak Rewards app. Get supercharged and add to your fuel savings when you purchase Core Water, Nestle ice cream, and Red Bull. This summer, let's meet at the Peak and save on our daily adventures.
You want diverse venues? We got them. Year-round sports access? You bet. Race cars, soccer, paragliding? Check, check, check. Medford has it covered as your sport ground, where the West Coast plays.
Welcome back to Robert Gray Stadium as we've played 1 quarter to start out the 6A non-league play. And Tigard got on the board first after the pick 6 early to start this one, but 3 turnovers by the Black Tornado on 4th down. And this one is caught into open territory. And this time it is Max Coker will scamper all the way down to the 6-yard line. So on a 4th down and 3, the Tigers convert, and they are knocking on the door once again, Coach. So the Black Tornado had a good opportunity to try to get the football back, but Tigers doing a nice job capitalizing on the opportunity. And Coach, at some point we'll turn it back over to you. I think you got some stats here, but we'll wait to talk about those as the Tigers knocking on the door. And Jake Feist in the gun. 1 to the top, 2 to the bottom. And Feist drops back, looks to the end zone, got a man. Touchdown, Tigers. And this time, Nico Simonetti, the senior, hauling this one in the corner of the end zone to make it 13 for the Tigers. And after the big 4th down completion, the Tigers waste no time and find the end zone for the 2nd time this evening. Their coach. So Simonetti catching touchdown passes, and he will also attempt the point after, trying to make it 14. And a bit of a high snap, got it down, and that one hits the goalpost, so it'll be no good. And we remain at 13. So Tigers out to a lead, 13-0, just underway here in the second. Scott Paul, Brian Gregg, Mike Strickland. We'll be back after this break.
Thanks for the ride. I'll see you after the game.
Hey, Dear Katie, I've been your #1 fan since I watched your first game all those years ago, and I still love watching you play. But I wanted to see you win so badly that my competitive nature got the best of me. I lost track of what's important. I thought I was supporting you, but I was really just embarrassing you. I'm not your coach, and I'm not an official. I forgot my role. I'm your parent, and you deserve better. From here on, I promise to keep my emotions under control. I'll cheer for you and all the other players, no matter the score, no matter the outcome. Thank you for sharing with me how I can do a better job of supporting you, your team, your coaches, and the sports you love. Still your #1 fan. Love, Dad.
13-0 in favor of the young men from Tigard, Oregon. As Nico Simonetti will kick this one off. And the Black Tornado will pick this one up. Cesaro all the way out to the 30 and all the way down to the 32-yard line. And that's where they will take over. Coach, talk about the storyline in the first quarter with some stats here.
Well, it was kind of a sloppy first quarter, not a lot of offense. Black Tornado had a total of 60 yards in the first quarter, 55 through the air, and only 5 on the ground. So I think Coach Chin would like to see a little more ground game. And Tigers only had 21 yards in that first quarter of total offense, but they had the pick 6, and then they had 36 yards in the second quarter already. So game turned around in a hurry.
And keep it this time. And Jeremiah Robbins will keep it, get all the way down to the 40-yard line. So the Black Tornado going with a 2-quarterback here system here, Coach. We've seen Traeger Healy, the sophomore. And we've also seen Jeremiah Robbins also. So a 2-quarterback type of wrinkle for.
Got to get your best athletes on the field at the high school level, that's for sure.
10-19 here in the second. As the fans and the student body, I don't know if they're Mike Strickland, you probably can't from this vantage point, but the students were thrown back to your era there, Coach, in the Animal House and the Toga Party night.
Absolutely, let's go.
High snap.
Toga.
And the Tigers doing a nice job getting in the backfield as Trevin Laird coming up from his outside linebacker position. As Landon Meeker couldn't really get much there. 3rd down and a long 4.
It puts a lot of pressure on your offensive line when you run those delay plays like that. You got to hold those blocks a long time, and they just couldn't do it on that play.
So big Terrell Kim, left tackle. And, Coach, you were talking about that at the break. You'd like to see them run behind him a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they haven't used that size to their advantage.
Trips to the bottom, single to the top. And pressure setting up. And this one is going to be complete, but short of the first down marker as Joey Newberg hauls that one in. And the Tigers were wanting to say the ball hit the turf, but the officials saw differently. Therefore, it'll bring up a 4th down and 1 from the Black Tornadoes' own territory. So Coach Chin going to leave his offense out onto the field.
I like this call. You're down 2 scores.
There's Pugliano in motion. And it will be an offsides on Tigard. So if you can't do it on the ground or through the air, Coach, you can do it when the other team decides to cheat. And therefore, that'll be a automatic 1st down for the Black Tornado.
I think you credit that to the quarterback. I think he changed up his cadence on that play, and he drew the defense off sides.
Well, and you got to credit those big fellas up front. That's a very difficult spot to be in. You got to hold your water, and they did a nice job there. So first down, Black Tornado, ball placed at the 45-yard line. Keep it this time up the middle. And Robbins lowers his shoulder, puts his foot in the ground, and will make his way all the way to midfield. And so that'll bring up a second down and mark it 6.5, Coach.
Well, I'd sure like to see the Black Tornado put together an impressive drive here and put it in the end zone.
8:16 here in the second. Tigers have had a touchdown on the defensive side of the ball and one through the air. Has one to the top, one to the bottom. And a timeout called by head coach Nathan Chin. We'll join him. Second down and 7 when we come back. Live coverage at high school. Don't go anywhere.
What do you do when a loved one has been wrongfully injured or killed? It's simple. Just go to letusfightforyou.com. That's it. Letusfightforyou.com, helping Oregonians get justice for over 40 years.
Pick it up. Let's go. Come on. Defense. Defense. What am I teaching you at home? Has this kid played before? Shoot it. Oh. Ah. Come on, ref. Open your eyes. Can't you see out there? So, which one's your kid?
The referee.
You can be a parent, athlete, coach, or an official, but you can only be one. Know your role.
So what do you do when you can't work because you were injured on the job? Easy. Just go to letusfightforyou.com. That's it. Letusfightforyou.com, helping Oregonians get justice for over 40 years.
It's a toga party here at Tigard High School. It's an Animal House on second down. Looks, throws, incomplete. Just a little bit high this time. As Jeremiah Robbins was looking for his receiver, Nolan Kelly, running the drag route across the middle. And great camera work there by Mr. Strickland. Well done there, Mike.
Trying to get the tokens, I missed the play. Sorry about that.
So with that, it will bring a third down and 7 here for the Black Tornado. Ball will be spotted at the 48.5-yard line. Black Tornado got to get all the way to about the 45, make it the 44-yard line. 7:50 remaining. In the gun, Robbins, pressure, and this one will be intercepted down the near side. Owen Wright down to the 15, to the 10, and he will take this one all the way back to the end zone for a touchdown. So 2 pick sixes for the Tigers.
55-yard interception, number 25, Owen Wright.
As Owen Wright scampered down the near side, put his foot in the dirt at the 10, cut back and found the end zone. And Tigers have jumped out to a 19-point lead, looking to make it 20 here, Coach. And boy, 4 turnovers, 2 pick sixes. Certainly not an ideal way to start your season.
Not at all. I'm almost speechless.
And Simonetti will add the 20th point of the game. So the Tigers, 2 pick sixes to give us 20 points. Can the Black Tornado get something going? We'll find out here. Don't go anywhere.
Thanks for the ride. I'll see you after the game.
Hey, Dear Katie, I've been your #1 fan since I watched your first game all those years ago, and I still love watching you play. But I wanted to see you win so badly that my competitive nature got the best of me. I lost track of what's important. I thought I was supporting you, but I was really just embarrassing you. I'm not your coach, and I'm not an official. I forgot my role. I'm your parent, and you deserve better. From here on, I promise to keep my emotions under control. I'll cheer for you and all the other players, no matter the score, no matter the outcome. Thank you for sharing with me how I can do a better job of supporting you, your team, your coaches, and the sports you love. Still your #1 fan. Love, Dad.
Welcome back into the broadcast. Brian Gregg, Scott Paul, Mike Strickland behind the lens, and it has been all Tigard here in this first half as turnovers has been the narrative for head coach Nate Chin and his offense with 2 pick sixes have added to the stat book, and certainly not the way you wanted to start out your 2023 football campaign. And coach, you've got to get something going here, because you can't have turnovers and then to add additional pain to the wound, can't be taking it all the way back to the end zone.
No, you really can't. Those were obviously 2 ill-advised passes. He floated out there a little bit too much, and credit the Tiger defense for sitting back in the weeds, just playing on the ball.
So Jeremiah Robbins will stand at his own 26-yard line. And he will keep it to themselves. Got a hole. And ball on the ground. He took a shot. And the officials are indicating that he was down. But Jeremiah Robbins slow to get up. So almost another disaster by the Black Tornado, but it will be enough for a first down, coach. But Jeremiah Robbins will head to the sideline for a moment, and Traeger Healy will come back in. So the Black Tornado dodge a bullet there. Officials indicating that he was down. And Healy will send Pugliano in motion to the top. And give it inside. And a good pickup this time. Pickup of about 4.
Well, in order for the Black Tornado to get back in this ball game, I think they have to keep it on the ground and just churn up some good yardage and get it in the end zone. If you can make a score before halftime, you're back in this ball game.
Absolutely, Coach. Got to go into the locker room with something, with a little bit of momentum going in there. Certainly a goose egg, and I'd love to be able to say that special word in the Rogue Credit Union Touchdown Club and give $10. So we haven't allocated any money yet here early in the season.
I like
here,
to
Coach.
spend other people's money.
3 to the bottom. And Traeger Healy once again. AJ in motion to the top. Single coverage. Let's watch him. And hit hard up in the air, and this one is caught. Connor Cicero with the great catch. And he will pick up the first down and get all the way down to the 36-yard line. And, Coach, you said those frightening words of uh-oh, and I think there was a good reason to, but Cicero doing a nice job navigating back to that football, or that could have been a potential for a 3rd interception there, but good play there by Cicero.
Well, I think the quarterback had a lot of pressure. He got hit just as he released the ball, so it was underthrown. If he wouldn't have been hit, it probably would have been picked, but because it was underthrown, it gave a chance for the receiver to change up his route and come under to catch it for 15-yard gain.
First down, ball will be placed at the 36-yard line. Keep it this time, Healy. And lowers his shoulder all the way down to the 30-yard line. So the Black Tornado putting together a nice little drive here, Coach.
Traeger Healy, just a sophomore. Future looks bright with him. Boy, what a specimen he is.
Good-looking athlete. 5:06 here before we head to halftime.
Lost his shoe.
Coach, can you stand there, lift your leg up, and put your shoe on without falling over?
Well, without falling down? No.
Well, I guess when you played with leather helmets, I probably should pipe down.
Well, there's a little bit of brain damage from those days.
2 to the top. Healy in the gun. Give it. Near side. Landon Meeker
running hard.
And the Tigers doing a nice job stretching that one out to the boundary line.
Maybe with your freshman quarterback or sophomore quarterback, you can't play tempo because he doesn't have that experience yet. But I'd like to see the Black Tornado go with a little more tempo when they get a little momentum going like that. But they're content to just sit back and call every play. But I'd like to have tempo here.
As we hit 4 minutes before we head into the locker room. And on 3rd down and 2, caught. And out of bounds, but will be short of the first down marker. All that work, and he didn't get to the first. I thought he had it there, Coach.
Well, I think Traeger threw it to over the wrong shoulder there.
Fans coming up at halftime, Medford Parks and Rec halftime report, and the coach will provide first half stats, first and second quarter stats in the Medford Parks Recreation halftime report. Thank you so much to Medford Parks and Recs and their wonderful partnership for many, many years. Pugliano in motion. Under center this time, Healy. And a big push from his running back. And he will pick up the first down, but
we got a penalty flag. But might be holding.
No, I think Coach, I think the back judge came in and said that your running back cannot push your quarterback forward. Yes, and that's what the call is. So the Bush push. And a good heads-up play there by the Black Tornado, but the rule book indicates that is not allowed, Coach.
So is that one of those differences between college and high school? So I think you can push in college.
I believe you are correct, but at the high school level you cannot.
Oh, okay.
And so after the great conversion, that will now back up the Black Tornado. So that will place the ball all the way at the make it the 29-yard line, Coach. Rather, 32-yard line.
5-yard penalty. Brings up 4th and 5.
And so that'll bring up a 4th down and 5 here. 3:30 before we head to halftime.
What's so strange about that play with the tailback pushing? It looked like it was designed to do that. So, obviously it wasn't, but it sure looked like it.
As Landon Meeker was the young man that gave Traeger a bit of a push, but 4th down and a big 5. Got to pick it up here. Continue this drive. Low snap picked up by Healy. Eludes the pressure. Breaks one tackle. Lowers his shoulder. And fights his way towards that first down marker.
Boy, that was a quick whistle.
And Traeger is saying, let me run the football. Don't blow that whistle. But the white hat comes running in. And the Tigers will hold the Black Tornado. And so they will give the ball back with 2:56 there, Coach. So after the unfortunate Bush push penalty and a 4th down and 5, Healy doing a nice job picking up the first down, but the official indicating that the play was not going to advance much further, and the whistle was blown. So that was certainly the touchdown, Coach, that we were talking about.
Boy, they had a good drive going there, and unfortunately, penalties once again.
And on first down, and Trevin Laird hauling that one in. Initially couldn't really haul it in, but a good sense of focus and kept that one. So a 2nd down and 5 with 2:35 before we head into the Medford Parks and Rec halftime report. As you're watching the Lithia Superstore Game of the Week right here on TableRockSports.net. On 2nd down, And the Black Tornado there, and a big sack in the backfield.
I think when we review the halftime stats, I think we're going to see an example where stats don't mean anything. Scoreboard means everything, because the North Bedford defense has played pretty darn well. They gave up one big play on that one, but 28-yard pass play. But
2 pick sixes certainly
pick sixes are never going to be what the doctor ordered.
So speaking of doctor orders, a bit of a cramp out there for the Tigers. But fans want to remind you that for almost 50 years, Bill's Glass has been the clear choice in Southern Oregon for your home, vehicle, and business needs. Locally owned, family run, Bill's Glass supports our schools and our communities. And I also want to thank our sponsors, including Conger Morris Funeral Directors of Southern Oregon, Avista Utilities, and the Rogue Valley Transportation District. Routes have expanded to help you get to work, school, or all of your appointments. Visit rvtd.org to learn more. And Table Rock Sports, in their 31st year, wants to say hello to our 2,200 YouTube subscribers who get updates when games go live. Join the team at YouTube/Table Rock Sports. So congratulations to Joe Brett and Pete Belcastro, and continuing this wonderful experience for these high school athletes, not just football, but basketball and baseball, swimming. You know, they really cover it all. It really has been they've been a huge advocate for Southern Oregon, and for many folks like myself who got the opportunity to call games at a very, very young age, and so I have a big thanks to those two. So thank you so much to you guys. 2:10 remaining. On third down, Black Tornado with pressure. And Jake Feist will get all the way down to the 35-yard line. And that'll bring up a fourth down. And the Black Tornado will call timeout with 1:56 remaining. So we will keep it right here, Coach. And, you know, you were talking about there a moment ago, when you look at the stats, you know, you would think with a 20-0 score that the stats would indicate that Tigard has been dominating this game. But as you alluded to, the Black Tornado have relatively played a good football game just outside of 2 pick sixes.
They really have, and you can see that they're very well coached, and those costly mistakes have been the whole name of the game. But their North Bedford's defense has been outstanding. They hold Tigard to only 63 yards of total offense so far this game.
So 20-0 on the John L. Scott scoreboard. Scott Paul, Mike Strickland, Ryan Gregg. Great to have you here, and great to have you here on this August 31st. And Mother Nature was quite warm the last few weeks here, Coach, but we woke up this morning and I had to turn my furnace on, new furnace.
Your new furnace, you had to turn it on?
I had to turn on my new furnace today.
Did you pay your utility bills this year?
On fourth down, high punt, and a good heads-up play. And a fair catch taken by Connor Cicero. And they'll start this one at the 32-yard line. So 1:49 before we head into the locker room. And Coach Chin would certainly love to get some points on the board before you head into the locker room.
Well, with a minute 49 to go in the first half, they don't have to make it all in one play, but they got to show a sense of urgency here. Maybe this is where I'll see the tempo I've been calling for.
Got to assume, Coach, that Pugliano is going to be a first look here.
I'm going to keep my eyes on him on this play.
As Healy looks, throws, downfield, and this one is almost intercepted this time. And Coach, you know, a name that we have not said here all game is Roman Martin, the corner for Tigard, who's had offers from the Mountain West team, some MAC teams in Pitt. So that means that he is doing his job. As I've been watching him down here on the near side, a young man with some Division I looks, and he just has that look of a corner right down here in front of us.
He does. They haven't gone at him very much this game, and rightfully so.
On second down, ball at the 32. And right as we said that, and a good throw and catch this time. Connor Cicero hauls that one in. As Roman Martin, we just said that we haven't really picked on him, or rather they have not picked on him. We haven't been picking on him, but they haven't been picking on him. And right there they said, hey, broadcast guys, there's a reason why you wear headsets.
Well, with my slow response time and slow feet, corner wasn't exactly my position.
And keep it this time. Healy slips in the backfield. And so that'll bring up a second mark at 17. As the pressure was coming hard off the far side, Max Coker, the 6'5 senior, with the pressure.
North Medford content to not show any tempo or sense of urgency. I'm quite surprised.
So head coach Nate Chin calling the offense, the Southern Oregon product. Believe the Gold Beach graduate. Maybe somebody our roaming reporters on the broadcast can confirm that, but I believe Gold Beach. 50 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. And Healy has this snap knocked away, picks it up, trying to get something. And he will lower his shoulder, be brought down at the 30-yard line. So, Coach, we have seen that a number of times here in this football game that for the most part they've been relatively decent snaps. It's just that might be just taking your eye off the ball there right at the very end. But credit Tigard, obviously, that they're either showing blitz or Mr. Healy knows who the guy that they're going to focus on there for the play.
Well, early in the season, you haven't had a lot of snaps, a lot of repetition, and I don't think most people understand how difficult it is for that snap in the gun. It's not an easy thing to do.
So 27 seconds remaining here in the third period, and as we mentioned earlier, with a Thursday football game, most games are played on Fridays. We assume that it has to do with the official shortage. But fans, you can change that. It's time for you to get back into the game. And you can be an official. There's a critical need for all sports right now. Go to osaa.org and click on the blue Become an Official button to learn more. And 27 seconds before we head into the Medford Parks and Rec halftime show. And North Medford will take on the Lava Bears of Bend next Friday evening. And setting it up on third down, screen pass, great play call, far side. Landon Meeker all the way down to the first down marker and pushed out of bounds right near the first down marker. And so a delayed screen here, Coach. And with a good disciplined play all the way out to the 47-yard line. And that'll bring up a 4th down and 1 here for head coach Nathan Chin.
Great call, perfect execution.
So with 18 seconds remaining, Black Tornado.
What do you call here?
Inside of Tigers, I got to assume you got to go to the big man. You got to go to 85. You got to put him out in space here. And they will shift over, so that will tell me now that they're in man coverage underneath. And Healy, I don't know if he got it there, Coach.
I don't think he did. See where he gets the spot. They might have to measure this one.
See where the official plants that foot, but Healy
was it a right or a left foot? I put it on the left foot, so maybe he got it.
See if Mike Strickland can get a good zoomed-in shot on that one. So after going in the gun and then back under center,
When that official comes in and he marks it on his left foot, you got to be a little more optimistic. You put it on that right foot and you know it's short, but when you put it on the left foot, it's really close.
Our video broadcast and a great zoom-in shot there by the Wizard, Mike Strickland. And
if this is short, it's going to be short by inches.
And 14 seconds remaining. We'll know pretty quickly who's jumping around. And the Tigers will hold the Black Tornado. And I think that was by the nose of the football there, Coach.
About 4 inches, it looked like, from here. Maybe Mr. Strickland zoomed in on that one. He had a different view of it, but looked like it was about 4 inches short.
Well, when you got Mike Strickland's, I like to call him top shelf. So the Tigers will
They'll
get
probably
the football
be content
back.
to just take a knee here and take that 20-point lead into the locker room.
So head coach Ken Feist is likely going to head into the locker room with a 20-point lead. And no, they will take a shot down the field. Got a man. And looking for the Division I product in Roman Martin down the right side. And incomplete. But we are going to have a penalty on the Black Tornado, as I believe it was a roughing the passer call, personal foul penalty, Coach. And so that will add 15 yards. So you really
shooting themselves in the foot, aren't they?
Ball on the field is roughing the passer. Puts the ball down on the 30.
So if I'm Coach Feist here, I'm saying, God, let's throw it up into the end zone. So the Black Tornado have got to play center field here. Just knock it down. Head into the locker room. Don't add more points to the board. Boy, some points here, and whew. Not a tall order.
The Tigers will receive the kickoff in the second half, so for the Black Tornado to come back and win this ball game, it's going to have to be a great defensive effort. Can't give up any more points.
2 to the top. Martin at the bottom. Pressure. Pugliano comes up in the sack. And a timeout called by the Tigers. 3 seconds before we head into the Medford Parks and Rec halftime show. We will take a break as well. We'll be back.
Diverse venues, we got them. Year-round sports access? You bet. Race cars, soccer, paragliding? Check, check, check. Medford has it covered as your sport ground, where the West Coast plays.
Okay, you know how people complain about how Dutch Bros workers are like too nice, too hyper, compliment you too much, whatever? Maybe you're not nice enough. Maybe you need to get a little Dutch Bros in you.
Discover the West Coast destination for those seeking more. More sunny days, more athletic facilities, more outdoor adventures, more to do during downtime. Medford is your sport ground, where the West Coast plays.
Likely final play of the second quarter, 3 seconds left. Tigers just going to try to throw it up. Nope, this time they will keep it, and Jake Feist will run out of bounds. And that will bring us to halftime. So after one half, it's the Tigers 20, the Black Tornado nothing. As we enter the Medford Parks and Rec halftime show, and the John L. Stotts scoreboard, 20-0 is your score. And when we come back, the coach and I will provide our first half thoughts, as well as some stats and other games around the state. Halftime score, Tigers 20, Black Tornado nothing. We'll be back.
Glass covers the full spectrum of your glass needs and dreams. Having new windows installed by Bill's Glass dramatically update and improves the look of your home and helps reduce energy bills year-round. Let Bill's Glass show you what you've been missing. Bill's Glass, the largest glass company in Southern Oregon for your home and auto, as well as the trusted industry leader for over 50 years. Locally owned, family run, Bill's Glass in Ashland, Medford, and Grants Pass.
This is Maya. As an embedded systems engineering student at Rogue Community College, Maya spends a lot of time in the lab, learning circuit design and making great connections with her instructors and classmates. By riding the bus and not owning a car, Maya saves almost $1,000 a month. RVTD helps Maya get to and from class safely and easily, enabling her to invest in her bright future at Oregon Tech. Way to go, Maya!
What do you do when a loved one has been wrongfully injured or killed? It's simple. Just go to letusfightforyou.com. That's it. Letusfightforyou.com, helping Oregonians get justice for over 40 years.
Pick it up. Let's go. Come on. Defense. Defense. What am I teaching you at home? Has this kid played before? Shoot it. Oh. Ah. Come on, ref. Open your eyes. Can't you see out there? So, which one's your kid?
The referee.
You can be a parent, athlete, coach, or an official, but you can only be one. Know your role.
So what do you do when you can't work because you were injured on the job? Easy. Just go to letusfightforyou.com. That's it. Letusfightforyou.com, helping Oregonians get justice for over 40 years.
Welcome back here to Tigard High School as we've made our way here to halftime. And we've entered the Medford Parks and Rec halftime show as Mother Nature turns up the spigot a little bit more here in the last, about 20 minutes. I walked on down to check out the amenities throughout the stadium, and I got myself a little bit wet out there. So certainly Mother Nature want us to play some football. As you can see here on the screen here, the rain's starting to come down. And I wonder if that was a piece to some of the miscues there in the first half there for the Black Tornado. But, you know, Coach, we were talking about a moment ago that if you were to, when you look at the stat sheet, you think, you know, this game should be a lot more yards if I'm Tigard. But, you know, the Black Tornado have actually done a pretty darn good job. Outside of the 2 pick sixes here, Coach, it really should be about a 7-0 ball game. But certainly throwing 2 pick sixes is not the way you typically draw it up. But first half stats that jump out at you, Coach.
Well, turnovers is obviously the stat that jumps off the page, and penalties as well. North Medford just probably had too much excitement, too much adrenaline because they've been costly errors. The first half stats, this is a prime example of where stats don't tell the story because, because the Black Tornado have more offensive yardage than the Tigers. North Medford had 131 yards of total offense in the first half, 104 through the air, but only 27 on the ground. And with this weather, this rain, I would like to think that North Medford's going to have to keep the ball on the ground. And so by the end of the game, we'll see if the running yards and the passing yards are more equalized. But the total of 131 yards total offense, punted once, fumbled 3 times, and of course those 2 costly interceptions that went for pick 6. Penalties have been tough on the Black Tornado as well. They had a total of 50 yards of penalties, 20 on the offense, 30 on the defense, and they had 6 first downs. Flipping over onto the Tigers side, they had about half as many total yards as the Black Tornadoes. They only had 70 yards of total offense, so credit the Black Tornado defense. But those 2 costly turnovers tell the story of this ball game. Tigers had 28 yards on the ground, 42 in the air, punted twice, didn't fumble, no interceptions, and relatively mistake-free football in that first half with only 2 penalties, 1 on the offense and 1 on the defense. But they only had 4 first downs. Now with the 2 scores, obviously the 4 first downs is somewhat of a misleading stat. But classic example of where stats don't win ball games. There's no such thing as moral victories. So for the Black Tornado to get back into this ball game, they're going to have to control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. They've done a pretty good job of that on the defensive side, but their offensive side of the ledger, they haven't been able to control the line of scrimmage, and therefore they find themselves down 3 scores. North Medford only has 27 yards on the ground. It's a little bit surprising given their massive front lines, the size of the front line, but we'll see what they can do in the second half. So, Brian, what do you think that the Black Tornado is going to have to do to get back in this ball game?
Well, it's no profound statement here by anything, Coach, but you got to finish drives. You know, they had a couple opportunities when they were going on nice drives there. They did have that unfortunate Bush push one down there, and they were knocking on the door down there. I mean, those are just opportunities that you just got to take it. You can't shoot yourselves in the foot. And I've always said that at the high school level, and certainly in this type of scenario, if I'm the Black Tornado, you've got to come out and you've got to make a stand here, and you've got to get that football back, and you got to put it into the end zone. And so for Black Tornado to get themselves back in this football game, I think they got to score early, and they got to score in the third quarter to put themselves in a position to win this football game, because, you know, your possessions start to get less and less as you find yourselves down, because certainly the winning team is in no hurry to continue the game.
Well, at the high school level, you're only going to get about 6 possessions in this second half. So they're going to have to score on half their possessions unless the defense can do what the Tiger defense did and then have a defensive score. But 6, maybe 7 possessions, and you're going to have to score on 3 of those to get back to win this ball game and hold Tiger to nose points. Tall order, but Coach Chen was probably drawing up something in the locker room at halftime. We'll see what it was.
So the Black Tornado will kick it off to start the second half. Scott Paul, Brian Gregg, Mike Strickland, the man behind the lens, doing a great job bringing you all the action here. And great to have you guys be a part of this in this early season non-conference matchup between 2 top 15 teams. Tigard 13th in the coaches poll, Black Tornado 12th in the coaches poll. But, Coach, you know as well as anybody that polls and standings don't matter at the beginning of the year. All that matters is that come December.
Absolutely.
So the Black Tornado will kick this one off. As Caden Morris will kick this one, and it will go out of bounds. And so with the ill-advised kick, that will bring the football out to the 35-yard line. And that's where the Tigers will take over.
Little fun fact, both kickers are left-footed, one on each team, so you don't see that every day.
Well, I can say that last night I had my fantasy football draft there, Coach. Did you do a fantasy football this year?
You know, no,
I
didn't.
I didn't think so.
That's your generation. That's not my generation.
Well, again, when they forfeited football during World War II, I understand. Underway here in the third quarter. Tigard will start over at their own 35-yard line. And inside in the backfield, Pugliano coming up from that defensive end position, and he's making a play, and he's fired up trying to get something going for his Black Tornado team.
Absolutely. Boy, they came up fired up on that play.
And, Coach, we talked about that at halftime. You can just look out there, and when you're a Division I scholarship type of player, you oftentimes wonder if the game is just a little bit slower for you. And we've been watching him all evening, and he has just been reckless getting there in that backfield.
He's dominant. There's no question about it.
So Julio Montiel, the 5'11", 215-pound left tackle, he's got a tall order. Ball will be placed at the 31-yard line. Got to get to the 45. High snap. Ball on the ground. And Tigard comes down with it.
That was the play that the Black Tornado needed.
Oh, I thought that was the one there, Coach. That was the one to knock on the door right there. But regardless, a long 3rd down and 36.
Boy, how many yards did they lose on that play? Whew. They must have lost, let's see, a ball on the 9. They were on the 32, so 23-yard loss on that play for the Tigers.
10:27 here in the third. On the John L. Scott scoreboard, 20-0 in favor of the Tigers. 2 pick sixes has been the storyline. And on 3rd down, handed off inside. And pick up a few yards. Finally brought down at the 15-yard line. And so that'll bring up a 4th down and mark it 30 here, Coach.
Well, the Black Tornado should get excellent field position.
And if I'm Coach Chin, I'm saying, guys, don't do anything that is going to take away a huge opportunity. No roughing the punter. I have to anticipate that they are going to set up a good return here. No need to try to come at the punter. And I think Tigard only has 10 players out on the field, and they do. I counted correctly.
You must have had your gloves off your both hands. You can count to 11.
So Ciceros will stand at his 45-yard line, high punt, and it will be fielded, knocked down, picks it up to the 40, and will march all the way out to the 35-yard line, and that's where the Black Tornado will take over. So after an excellent start here in the second half, this is the door that head coach Nathan Chin is looking for to try to get some points on the board here, Coach. But this is what I was talking about. You've got to take advantage of your opportunities, and this is an opportunity, and you got to finish the drive. You got to put the ball into pay dirt and give yourselves an opportunity to get back into this football game.
Well, I think I would keep it on the ground and see if I can grind out a touchdown here. Give that young quarterback some more confidence.
Newberg in motion. Give it inside. 2 hands on the football. And Meeker all the way up to the 25-yard line. Did you notice that, Coach, there? That Meeker had 2 hands on the football.
We're not going to turn it over, Coach says. Hug that thing. There's a wet, slippery football out there tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if they come back with the exact same play.
Pugliano in the slot, single at the top. Healy stands at the Tigard 32-yard line. Pugliano near side and gets near that first down marker. And Coach, you can just see that he just looks so much more athletic out there. And I mean, credit his great work in the offseason, but he was in essence stopped in the backfield and picked up about 3 or 4 hard yards, and it was enough to pick up the first down. So with the first down, I believe that the Black Tornado, this is the closest to the end zone, Coach. I believe they have been all football game.
It is. Got to take advantage of that short field.
Ball at the 22-yard line. Give it. Meeker, 2 hands on the football, lowers his shoulder, marches all the way inside of the red zone to the 16-yard line. So, Coach, you said it perfectly. Running that football. And they've certainly established the run here in the second half, and it is showing.
2nd and 4, Black Tornado.
Far be it from me to question the scheme of the offensive coordinator of the Black Tornado, but it sure looked to me like the offensive line of the Black Tornado is going to be more physical than the defensive line of the Tigers, and so that's why I was calling for a smash mouth football.
In the gun, Healy looks, now surveys, not there. And he will lower his shoulder, get all the way down to about the 12-yard line, and pushed out of bounds. Coaches wanted a horse collar there. But regardless, near that first down marker, and that's a very good heads-up play there, Coach. You didn't really have much. You didn't try to force anything.
He, as a sophomore, the future is really bright for that young man.
So a 3rd down and 1. Coach, I would say that this is a very important 3rd or 4th down scenario here.
Well,
can't have any penalties.
Down territory for sure, but I would think I would just
no penalties here.
Right off the left tackle is what I would run here.
Right behind Kim, right there at that left guard. Keep it in the backfield, makes one man miss, and he will pick up the first down.
Must have been down because there was a fumble there.
And so the Black Tornado, first down and goal. And we will have a...
I hate to see injuries.
An injured Tigard player. We'll step aside. Can the Black Tornado finish the drive and get their first touchdown? We'll find out. Don't go anywhere.
It's game day or a family get-together. Sherm's has the quality products and prices that will make you cheer. Sherm's Thunderbird Market, Medford's original discount grocery store.
Daily adventures this summer start at Pinnacle 365. Accelerate your day with morning motivation. Freshly ground, swiftly brewed. Add some extra crunch to your lunch with our mouth-watering crispy crunchy chicken. The perfect combination of crispy juicy chicken and irresistible flavors. Earn free rewards and save at least 16 cents a gallon with our Peak Rewards app. Get supercharged and add to your fuel savings when you purchase Core Water, Nestle Ice Cream, and Red Bull. This summer, let's meet at the Peak and save on our daily adventures.
You want diverse venues? We got them. Year-round sports access? You bet. Race cars, soccer, paragliding? Check, check, check. Medford has it covered as your sport ground, where the West Coast plays.
Welcome back in on first down and goal to the one. Touchdown, Black Tornado. Give it to the big fella. Let him finish off the drive. Landon Meeker finds the end zone for the first time here tonight. Great drive after a great defensive stand. And the Black Tornado get their first points on the board. And the Rogue Credit Union will add $10 to the kitty. And the first touchdown of the season for the Black Tornado, and a big one. And just what Coach Chin told his team at halftime, our roving reporters had a chance to talk with Coach Chin and said, do your job and hold your blocks. And they did that there on that drive, looking to make it 7. And it is good. So North Medford wasting no time coming out here in the second half and getting on the board. 20-7 on the John L. Stott scoreboard. We'll be back.
Thanks for the ride. I'll see you after the game.
Hey, Dear Katie, I've been your #1 fan since I watched your first game all those years ago, and I still love watching you play. But I wanted to see you win so badly that my competitive nature got the best of me. I lost track of what's important.
Welcome back into the broadcast. Mike Strickland, Scott Paul, Brian Gregg. And the North Medford Black Tornado getting their first touchdown of the season at 6:47 here in the third. And Rogue Credit Union will donate $10 for every touchdown scored by the Panthers or the Black Tornado throughout the year. So $10 will be allocated to the community. And so the momentum shifting a little bit to the young men in red and white. And the kickoff will be taken at the 15-yard line. And a good play by Omar Gonzalez, the 5'8 senior. And so the Tigers will take over at their own 30-yard line. Coach, let's unpack that previous series there that you talked about running of the football.
Well, they ran it on, 2, 4, 6 plays. They ran it 5 of the 6 plays. 30 yards on the ground, 3 through the air, topped off by a 10-yard scamper into the end zone.
As Landon Meeker finds the end zone, and that young man running hard. And so the defense would love to try to give that football back to Coach Chin and his offense. Double tight this time for the Tigers. And in the backfield, hit and dropped. And my main man, Joey Newberg, coming up making a play. And you got Pugliano and Newberg as your bookend defensive ends and doing a nice job tracking down that quarterback from the backside.
Nothing like a score to get some energy going on your team. They look really fired up. If I'm Tigard, I probably maybe run a screenplay or something here because they're pinning their ears back coming at them. And so I think I would go with a screenplay, maybe a drop, but
you can certainly feel it here, Coach. You can see that there's a little bit of, they seem to play a little more moxie right now.
Yep.
On second down, Pugliano there And hit and dropped in the backfield. And the big play by Jeremiah Robbins. And the Black Tornado, they are fired up, and certainly football is a game of emotion. And that will back up Tigard all the way to the 24-yard line. So a 3rd down and 16 for the Tigers if they want to continue this drive. But to Coach, a big stand here would certainly add additional momentum for the Black Tornado, as the Black Tornado have got the Tigers up against the ropes right now. Love to get a stop right here. 5:14 here in the 3rd. Double tight once again. And pitch to the near side, open territory. And hit hard at the 35-yard line. And that'll bring up a 4th down and 5. As Ken Feist will likely punt this one away. So once again there, Coach Scott.
Tigers 4th down and 5.
2 possessions, 2 punts. So Connor Cicero will stand at his own 35-yard line. And the left-handed left footer. And Cicero almost took that one in the shin. And that takes a Bellotta ball bounce all the way down to the 21-yard line. And that's where the Black Tornado will take over. So, Coach, Black Tornado getting it done on the defensive side of the ball.
And well, the defense has been outstanding this entire game. Only giving up, 6 points in the first half. So the defense has played exceptional football this game, except for the 2 unforced errors on the pick 6.
I mean, for the
most Medford, these are 2 equally balanced, or they're balanced opponents. They're
love to see a drive here, Coach. 4:15 in the gun. Give it. Near side. Breaks 1 tackle. Hard running. Has landed Meeker, who found the end zone in the previous possession. And a pickup of about 7.
I really like that play calling. I think I would continue to run a couple of 3 more plays, and then I would take a shot down the field, because I can see the safeties starting to cheat up a little bit as the Black Tornado have had success on the ground the last 2 possessions. So we'll see what play they drew up here.
2 to the top, 1 to the bottom. And a false start on Joey Newberg. Joey knew it. He got caught. Got to stay still. Got to hold your water there, Coach. Penalties. God doggone it. So rather than a 2nd and 4, or rather 2nd and 2, you now are staring down at a 2nd and 7. As Healy standing at his own 20. And he will keep it himself. And he will get back to about the initial line of scrimmage. So that'll bring up a 3rd down. And, Coach, I would say a very important 3rd down for here.
I think it almost seems like a 2-possession game here, but field position is important, so we'll see. But I think if they pick up 3 or 4 yards on this play, if they don't get the first down, I think Coach Chin goes for it on 4th down, being down 2 scores, and we're winding down to the end of the 3rd quarter here.
Pugliano in the slot at the bottom. As Healy stands at his own 22-yard line, ball placed at the 28, 2:31. And this one will be incomplete, trying to get it to Pugliano. And he would have been short of the first down marker anyway, and so that will send out the punting unit once again, so a very important third down there, Coach, and certainly they like to have that one back.
I would like to have seen, if you're going to put it in the air, I'd like to see a drag screen there of some kind. That's a long throw for that young sophomore quarterback in the flats like that.
Roman Martin will stand at his own 35, a very high punt, not very deep, and it will take a Black Tornado bounce and will be at the 45-yard line, and that's where the Tigers will take over. 20-7 is still your score on the John L. Scott scoreboard. We'll step aside for 30 seconds.
It takes meticulous planning, continuous monitoring, and forward thinking to deliver the perfect 3-egg omelet.
Welcome back in, 20-13 here at Tigard High School. As Tigard really in no hurry to get to the line of scrimmage. Certainly running out of bounds is a generous consideration for the Black Tornado. So a second down and 10 here, and, Coach, if I'm the Black Tornado, you've got to assume, as you talked about, your possessions start to come few and far between, and as I alluded to a couple times, that Tigard's going to be in no hurry to get that ball snapped.
Like a pistol. Run another pistol.
Pitch to the near side, runs right into the arms of Pugliano, and he takes him down in the backfield.
Boy, he is quick off the ball. Wow. No, he's quick off the snap, I bet. Well, off the ball. But.
So A.J. will take his talents to Eugene next season and play for head coach Dan Lanning. And the Beavers will open up their season against Portland State on Saturday. And the Beavers travel down to San Jose State, Coach. Many who have picked to win the Pac-12. Deep ball intercepted. And so the Black Tornado come down with it. And playing a nice center field is Tate Snyder, the 5'10 junior, making a play, and so that will give the ball back to the Black Tornado. So a bit of a poor throw.
Personal foul. Medford.
But it will be negated now here, Coach, because of another penalty committed by the Black Tornado.
Is that a late hit?
Well, I was about to state that the Black Tornado were going to get the football back, but the officials indicating that it was a late hit. So the ball will now be placed at the Black Tornado 45-yard line, and yes, it was a roughing the passer, as the white cap indicating. So that will continue the drive for the Tigers.
First down, 10 to go from.
And again, another penalty, something that will certainly be addressed if I'm head coach Nate Chin. Inside, give it to, and Pugliano there once again in the backfield.
Very unfortunate penalty, but you can't fault the kid. He was just trying to make a play and put some pressure on the quarterback, and that's just one of those plays that you got to have a little more discipline, but it's can't criticize the effort.
So as we come under 1 minute before we will expire this third quarter, and we will head to the final period. as we hit 30 seconds. And again, Tigard in no hurry. Inside and runs into the arms once again to my main man, Joey Newberg. And that'll likely be the final play of the third quarter. So both teams will switch sides here. And that'll bring us to the end of the third quarter. On the John L. Scott scoreboard, it's the Tigers 20 and the Black Tornado 7. Flip sides, and the Black Tornado got anything left in him to put himself back in this ball game. Or will the Tigers run out the clock? We'll find out.
What do you do when a loved one has been wrongfully injured or killed? It's simple. Just go to letusfightforyou.com. That's it. LetUsFightForYou.com, helping Oregonians get justice for over 40 years.
Pick it up. Let's go. Come on. Defense. Defense. What am I teaching you at home? Has this kid played before? Shoot it. Oh. Ah. Come on, ref. Open your eyes. Can't you see out there? So, which one's your kid?
The referee.
You can be a parent, athlete, coach, or an official, but you can only be one. Know your role.
So what do you do when you can't work because you were injured on the job? Easy. Just go to letusfightforyou.com. That's it. LetUsFightForYou.com, helping Oregonians get justice for over 40 years.
Welcome back to the Lithia Superstore Game of the Week, right here on TableRockSports.net, powered by U.S. Cellular. As we head into the fourth period, and a 3rd down and 15 to start the final quarter. Pressure now keeps it. A lot of running room, a lot of real estate. First down, and all the way down to the 15-yard line. So the Black Tornado brought the pressure, but a big first down by Jake Feist as he found open real estate. And Tigard knocking on the door once again there, Coach, and certainly had their chance there, but good athletic play there by Jake Feist, and a first down for Tigard. And inside the 20-yard line.
Some of that senior experience showing up there, not to mention some serious quickness.
3 to the bottom, I formation. Feist rolls out, now pressure. And keeps it himself to the 5, tripped up all the way down to the 4-yard line. And certainly, Coach, he's got some pretty darn good quickness, and to be able to elude that pressure and find real estate is certainly a weapon, and he's showing again why he's the signal caller for the Tigers. So first down and 5, rather first down and goal. Double tight formation, rather one to the top, I-back under center. Bootleg, keep it himself toward the goal line.
Boy,
touchdown Tigers. Went under center, I-backs, faked it, came around with the boot, found the end zone, touchdown Tigers. 26-7 on the John L. Scott scoreboard. And yeah, Coach, I got to agree. That's a great play call. We had not seen that all night. And
the senior quarterback with those motor legs going for him was responsible for all the yardage on that drive.
So that makes it a 26-7 game in favor of the Tigers. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up, looks good, and it is good. So 8:58, Tigers on top by 20. We'll be back after this break, brought to you in part by John L. Scott.
Choose a company that best represents you and our local community.
Choose a company that focuses on relationships rather than transactions.
Choose a company that empowers their employees and provides growth opportunities from within.
Choose a company that shows compassion and rises to the occasion in times of need.
Call a John L. Scott broker today.
Any time is a good time to plan your funeral, except at the time of the funeral. At Conger Morris, we know that there are so many advantages to planning ahead. It eases the burden on our families at their worst time. Pre-planning also alleviates their stress, knowing the funeral costs are already taken care of. And it allows your service to be more meaningful, with all of your wishes being taken care of. Call us today for personalized assistance in creating your own plan. Conger Morris, we'll always be there.
27-7 on the John L. Scott scoreboard. And after the well-executed boot by quarterback Jake Feist, and he found the end zone for the first time this evening. And the Black Tornado had an opportunity to get the football back, what looked to be an interception, but a roughing the passer penalty negated that interception, which allowed the drive to continue for the Tigers. And that's how they found themselves with 7 more points on the scoreboard. So again, Coach, penalties has been the narrative for much of this game.
Well, if I'm the coach of the Black Tornado, I'm going to take a lot from this game, even if they can't come back and win. They showed a lot of signs of some really good things. They just have to clean up a lot of things, but the defense has played pretty well overall.
And Pugliano, the intended receiver, just overthrown. And so that'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 from their own 20-yard line. So the Black Tornado will have their first home game of the season next Friday night as they welcome in the Lava Bears from Bend. And then they will welcome in the following week in West Salem. And as always, they will close out the season in the Red and Blue Bowl, Spiegelberg Stadium in South Medford. A group that always is competitive in the conference. Certainly will have some of their games throughout the season as well. You can catch all the action right here on TableRockSports.net. Fans, want to remind you, before or after the game is a great time to visit Dutch Brothers and enjoy your favorite beverage. September is Bucks for Kids Month at Dutch Bros, where every dollar goes to local youth organizations in our communities. You know, Coach, that's one business that started out little ma and pa, and I think it's safe to say they have become a player.
They're definitely a player
in the coffee space. On 3rd down, set up the screen. And it will not be enough for Landon Meeker, who found the end zone one time here this evening. And so that'll make it a 4th down and say make it 6. And so Coach Chin will once again send his punting unit back out onto the field as the rain is coming down. You can certainly look off to the stadium lights, and Mother Nature is making sure that it is a true football game here tonight, Coach.
That 4/100th of an inch wasn't too accurate.
Might be fake news. Ball will go out of bounds at the midfield, and that's where the Tigers will take over. 27-7, 9:20 remaining here in the 4th. Live coverage here on the NFHS Network, produced and powered by Table Rock Sports. We'll be back.
Glass covers the full spectrum of your glass needs and dreams. Having new windows installed by Bill's Glass dramatically update and improves the look of your home and helps reduce energy bills year-round. Let Bill's Glass show you what you've been missing. Bill's Glass, the largest glass company in Southern Oregon for your home and auto, as well as the trusted industry leader for over 50 years. Locally owned, family run, Bill's Glass in Ashland, Medford, and Grants Pass.
Welcome back in here to the broadcast. Mike Strickland, man behind the lens. Scott Paul, Brian Gregg here. Great to have you here. Great to have you along here. And on the other side for Tigard, they will welcome in the Pioneers of Sandy next Friday evening. And then they will travel, or rather they will stay home once again. And they will welcome in the Tide of Glencoe. And then they'll have their first road game of the season. And they will head over to Liberty High School. So 3 home games to start the season out for the Tigard Tigers. And then that one football team down in Eugene and Sheldon, who many have picked to contend once again for the state championship. They will welcome in the Irish on the 13th of October. And, you know, certainly, Coach, that's a program down in Eugene that I think it's safe to say they don't rebuild, they just reload. And Josh Line has got that football program going in the right direction.
It's unbelievable. It's been a long journey of dominance.
And, you know,
South Eugene's fielding a team this year.
Well, Edmund Rivera.
Rivera.
Former coach at Marist High School, Harrisburg, North Eugene, trying to bring back South Eugene football. So well done by the South Eugene Axe. And on first down, inside. And a pickup of about a yard. And running into the arms once again to Pugliano, who, speaking of South Eugene, will make his way to Eugene next season, and he will play for head football coach Dan Lanning. And the Ducks, Coach, you and I had an opportunity to go down and see Coach Lanning speak on Monday and hear about what he would like to see. But as we like to say, it was coach speak and didn't give us a lot. But, boy, if I'm an Oregon Duck fan right now, but also if I'm a Beaver fan right now, nothing would be more special than to make a statement to the rest of the conference, which is likely the last season for Pac-12 play.
I think the Beavers could win the Pac-12 this year. I think they've got all the ingredients.
You look top to bottom with the Pac-12, Coach. I mean, you got Shedeur Sanders, the quarterback over Colorado that everybody is talking about. And, you know, it's crazy to think that a program that finished dead last year has gotten so much hype with Deion Sanders certainly coming into the helm is certainly not going to interfere with ticket sales as well as national exposure. So,
well, he's got the Buffalo fans all fired up. I know that. They're selling out their home stadium. Season ticket sales are the highest they've been in about 15 years.
Speaking of stands, high snap. Pugliano chasing down and incomplete, trying to find Brian Smith sitting all out alone in the flats. But speaking of stadiums, Coach, did you see that yesterday that the largest women's outdoor or sporting event ever, 90,000.
95,000.
University of Nebraska women's volleyball team, they filled up Memorial Stadium, literally filled it up.
Isn't that crazy? That's way fun.
You and I had the opportunity to go back there a couple years ago when the Ducks played Nebraska, so we certainly can attest that is a large stadium, and to fill that up in the state of Nebraska is a pretty remarkable feat.
What a great experience for those women Huskers.
2 to the top, 2 at the bottom. Pugliano with the pressure in the backfield, hit and dropped. As Jeremiah Robbins coming up from his linebacker position and making the play there, and certainly credit the Black Tornado. They're certainly not.
There's no quit in them.
No quit in them at all.
Well, like I was saying a few minutes ago, I think that North Medford has got a lot to build on here. They got to clean up their mistakes, but if they can clean those up, then I think that they'll be worthy of their top 11 ranking.
So that'll bring up a 4th down and 22 as we hit the 7:10 mark here in the 4th. And other action around the college football. University of Utah all over Florida. 24-11 there in the 4th quarter. So the final year of the conference and taking care of business against the perennial powerhouse SEC football, Coach. And a delay game on the Tigers. We'll back them up 5 more. So Nolan Kelly will stand at his own 40-yard line. And a very high punt, not very deep. And it will go off the top of the lid of a Tiger player. And then they will mark it at the 40-yard line. But I do believe their coach that the ball will be placed about midfield because landed directly on the top of the lid.
Yep.
Of the Tiger. Speaking of lid, we haven't put a lid on this one yet, but 27-7 on the John L. Scott scoreboard. We'll step aside.
Diverse venues, we got them. Year-round sports access? You bet. Race cars, soccer, paragliding? Check, check, check. Medford has it covered as your sport ground, where the West Coast plays.
Okay.
Welcome back in here to the broadcast. 6:50 is what is showing on the John L. Scott scoreboard. And we will go into the Southern Oregon Sports Commission Know Your Role postgame show following this. And the coach and I will provide our thoughts, see if we get some other scores around the state, a handful of games at the 6A level. Inside, Meeker, midfield, cuts it back. And cuts all the way down to the 35-yard line. And Meeker certainly has really been the bell cow there on the running side of the football. And he is, once again, he's had that cramp for most of the game. I've seen that quite a bit here, Coach, is the cramping seems to be a part of the narrative here this evening.
Well, sometimes those young men don't listen to the trainers and they don't hydrate adequately, and it's a very painful injury, but dehydration. You would think on a rainy night it would be less likely to be dehydrated.
We'll step aside. 27-7. We'll be back.
Thanks for the ride. I'll see you after the game.
Hey, Dear Katie, I've been your #1 fan since I watched your first game all those years ago, and I still love watching you play. But I wanted to see you win so badly that my competitive nature got the best of me. I lost track of what's important. I thought I was supporting you, but I was really just embarrassing you. I'm not your coach, and I'm not an official. I forgot my role. I'm your parent, and you deserve better. From here on, I promise to keep my emotions under control. I'll cheer for you and all the other players, no matter the score, no matter the outcome. Thank you for sharing with me how I can do a better job of supporting you, your team, your coaches, and the sports you love. Still your #1 fan. Love, Dad.
Welcome back in here to the broadcast. Mike Strickland, Scott Paul, Brian Gregg here. Thanks for joining us here this evening. What a fun time it has been. Anytime you get to throw the headset on and call a high school football game here in August. A lot of weeks left of football, and certainly Table Rock Sports allows you to bring the action right into your own living room. And you go to TableRockSports.net for all the updated scores as well as other scores and other sports from Southern Oregon. Joe Brett, Pipo Castro doing a marvelous job. 30 years of work for those folk and bringing you so many great games. Trips to the top here for the Black Tornado inside of Tiger territory.
A lot of field there if he can break a tackle.
As Healy all the way down to the initial line of scrimmage. Took a pretty good shot there. As we hit the 6:32 mark here in the fourth period. Coach, we talked about it before we went to the break there, talking about the Pac-12 here with Colorado and Shadur Sanders, and then you got Bo Nix and his billboards in New York City as well as Dallas, and then, oh, by the way, you have a Heisman Trophy winner in there too. So, I mean, it's kind of like...
college football is just in a state of flux right now. Here's the Pac-12 has got one of its more impressive group of teams in a long time. There's 4 or 5 teams that can win the conference. Quarterbacks galore.
Swing pass far side. Cicero marches all the way down to the 25-yard line, picks up the first down. And the Black Tornado knocking on the door once again. Love to get another score here before we enter the Oregon Sports Commission, Southern Oregon Sports Commission post-game show. And, Coach, we've talked about it a number of times here on this broadcast, but you take away those 2 pick sixes, and we got ourselves a nail-biter type of football game.
Yeah, this possession would be pretty exciting. But you can't take away those. You got to figure out how to clean up your mistakes.
Traeger Healy will stand at his own, or rather the Tiger 29-yard line, 2 to the top. And will be pressured. Now we'll keep it. And breaks 2 tackles and falls forward all the way to the 20-yard line.
Boy, that young man has got a really bright future. That's some really heads-up football to turn what looked like to be a disaster into a 2-yard gain.
So as the rain continues to come down here at the August, I guess is after Labor Day considered when fall starts, Coach? Is that typically how it works?
Hey, when football starts, it's the fall. I don't care what the calendar says.
Pugliano at the top. Handoff, far side. This is Jacob Owings who got his second carry of the night. And a pickup of about a yard, and that'll bring up a 3rd down and 7 here for the Black Tornado. Love to see them add to the kitty.
Well, it's exactly like I was calling for at halftime. Black Tornadoes developing that run game very nicely in this second half.
As the Black Tornado will welcome in the Lava Bears of Bend next Friday evening, 6:45, Bill's Glass pregame show. On 3rd down, a lot of time, swing pass near side. And the ball will be on the ground, still going for it. And it will go out of bounds. The Tigers could not pounce on it. So the football will now be placed at the 26-yard line. And the Black Tornado will get it back.
So what's the stat on that? When you catch it, do you get positive yardage for the pass and then you get negative yards on the fumble, or does it one continuous play?
Do you not have that in your stat sheet? You
I
don't have that
one.
You don't have that macro?
I don't have that macro.
So Coach Chin will allot to keep his offense out onto the field. 4th down and 14. Got to get all the way to the 13-yard line. Healy stands. Set up the screen. And this one is incomplete.
Turnover on downs.
Probably wouldn't have gone too far as there was a whole plethora of black lids. And we'll keep it right here. And, Coach, is there any particular stats that have really kind of jumped out at you in the second half? I know there at halftime that the stat sheet was in favor of the Black Tornado.
So let's see. Black Tornado have 212 yards of total offense for the game. And Tigard has 85 yards of total offense for the game. So hard to believe, isn't it?
85 yards total offense for Tigers.
Yep.
Wow.
Like I said, the Black Tornadoes defense has been really outstanding. Just too many mistakes on the offensive side of the ball.
Pitch to the near side on first down. And the ball on the turf. Black Tornado come up with it. But the officials indicating that the Tigard player was already on the turf.
Can't advance a fumble in high school football. I think they're going to give it to the Black Tornado, though. They are.
And yes. And with that strip, was it a strip sack there, Coach? couldn't really put it together there, but in any event, the Black Tornado will get the football back. 4:08 here in the fourth on the John L. Scott scoreboard. Other games around the state of Oregon. Lake Ridge, who many are quietly talking about, Coach, that Lake Ridge, they travel over to Glencoe, North Salem, and Roosevelt. The Democrats, the Demos, welcome in the Pioneers of Oregon City, Sandy and Sunset, Westland and Nelson, and Ida B. Wells and Hillsborough playing here on this Thursday.
I think I'd run a trap play here.
And 3 to the top. Hugliano in the slot. Watch him. Drops back. Traeger hit and drop. Ball on the turf.
Traeger Healy with the keeper. Ryan Smith, number 5, with the tackle.
And this time Ryan Smith coming up, making the play for the Tigers.
Second and long, North Medford.
And tomorrow night, Grants Pass welcomes in California School, Del Norte High School. Sprague and Liberty, South Medford welcomes in Mountainside tomorrow night. And go to OSAA.org to catch all the action. Pugliano in the slot. Ball will be placed at the 34-yard line. Got to get all the way to the 16-yard line. Looking for Pugliano. And this one is intercepted. Great play there by Roman Martin. Great athletic play there by the young man. Those had offers from a few Mountain West schools. University of Pitt has offered him to take his talents, and he showed it right there, Coach, with a great defensive play there to get his hands and arms underneath the football. And Tigard will take over on their own 9-yard line.
With a slippery football, that's a long throw for that young sophomore quarterback's arm. And Pagliano was interfered with maybe, but officials saw it differently.
And fans are coached, just in case you were wanting to know, 1A 6-man football. Prairie City took down Wallowa today, 44-0.
6-man football?
6-man football.
Wow, you can play that in a basketball arena. I didn't know they played 6-man football. God, that'd be fun to watch. I would think that the Tigers would be content to keep this on the ground. Can't afford a turnover.
.311, 27-7 on the John L. Scott scoreboard. And on first down, bounce it outside, and a good defensive play there. Ball on the turf. And the Black Tornado indicating they got it, and they do.
Disaster. I was just saying, you can't afford to turn it over.
So the Black Tornado will get it back.
Wow, that's insane.
The loose ball for North Medford. First and goal to go for North Medford from the 6.
So the Black Tornado have an opportunity to get their 13th point of the game. After the good defensive stand, 3:03. Traeger Healy inside. And we'll give it to Landon Meeker once again, the junior he's had himself a nice football game.
He really has.
Runs hard.
He runs really hard. I like that. He keeps his feet turning. I'm very impressed with the young man.
So clock will continue to run. And certainly love to see the Black Tornado get a score here before they embark on that 5-hour bus ride back home. Second and goal. Looks, throws. Ooh, almost picked off once again.
That looked like pay dirt if it was intercepted. I've seen too much of that tonight. I don't want to see any more pick six.
We have an excellent vantage point up here in the friendly confines of Tigard Football Stadium. But I got to say, Coach, the view from up here, let's see if Mike Strickland can get a shot of the baseball diamond over there across the way. It's a beautiful facility they have here at Tigard High School.
It really is beautiful. Beautiful complex.
So Black Tornado trying to finish off after the fumble recovery. 2:21, low snap, give it to Meeker, puts his foot in the dirt, and all the way down to the 4-yard line. So a 4th down and goal here for head coach Nate Chin, the Southern Oregon University graduate.
What do you call here, Brian?
For the Tigers. 4th down and goal to go.
I would certainly like to think that they'd take a page out of Tigard's book and maybe run a bit of a bootleg. But we'll certainly see, but
doesn't look like it.
Doesn't look like it here.
Formation. Unless they send somebody in motion here. Well, they do.
Pugliano in motion. Keep it. And he will be hit and dropped. Got back to the initial line of scrimmage, and the Tigers will keep the Black Tornado out of the end zone. So a good stand there by the Tigers. And as the Black Tornado could not capitalize on the forced turnover, and they will give the football back to Tigard. On a wet, cold night. Normally we say that word in about November.
Coach.
Don't say it very often here in August, but certainly Mother Nature in our
I don't ever remember a high school football game in August.
More or less raining.
Let alone, yeah, for sure.
That's certainly Mother Nature.
That's crazy. Climate change.
And Tigers will not put themselves in the position to give the ball back to the Black Tornado as we hit 120, 27-7. And after this, we'll take you into the Southern Oregon Sports Commission's Know Your Role postgame campaign. And the Animal House and the Toga Party down below here, their coach.
They're excited. They're rocking and rolling.
Getting ready to shout. See what I did there?
You see what you did there.
You know you make me want to shout. So the young men in black are pretty excited as they will go to 1-0 on the season. And the Black Tornado will have their first loss of the year to start the season out. So a lot of positives there, Coach, but a lot of things you got to take a peek at, and we've certainly touched on them throughout this evening.
Well, it'll be a sleepless night. They're looking at that game film, what could have been.
So as the clock hits 40 seconds, and the Tigers will just take a knee. But, boy, that Three Rivers League, Coach, if I'm Tiger, that's a competitive league top to bottom. Lake Oswego, Lake Ridge, Oregon City, Tualatin, and West Lynn. I mean, that's the most difficult conference in the 6A. So a good win here for Tigard here tonight, as that will be the last play of the game, as both teams will come to center field.
Let the toga party begin.
As we hit 5 seconds, and both teams will come out to center field, and they will shake hands, and that will do it. Final score, Tigers 27, North Medford 7 on the John L. Scott scoreboard. As we enter the Southern Oregon Sports Commission Know Your Role post-game show. So a lot of fireworks, certainly not the ideal fireworks if I'm the Black Tornado, but a lot to build on and a lot of enthusiasm for those young men down there in white and red. Final score 27-7 here at Tigard High School. We'll take a break, and when we come back, the coach and I will provide our thoughts and also some stats as well, and we will get on out of here. 27-7 for the Tigers. We'll step aside.
Choose a company that best represents you and our local community.
Choose a company that focuses on relationships rather than transactions.
Choose a company that empowers their employees and provides growth opportunities from within.
Choose a company that shows compassion and rises to the occasion in times of need.
Call a John L. Scott broker today.
Any time is a good time to plan your funeral, except at the time of the funeral. At Conger Morris, we know that there are so many advantages to planning ahead. It eases the burden on our families at their worst time. Pre-planning also alleviates their stress, knowing the funeral costs are already taken care of. And it allows your service to be more meaningful, with all of your wishes being taken care of. Call us today for personalized assistance in creating your own plan. Conger Morris, we'll always be there.
Welcome back into the broadcast as Tigers are all shout, toga, toga, toga. But, Coach, let's talk about this game. Certainly to start out the game, it was not the ideal start for the Black Tornado, with a pick six, or rather a fumble to start out the game, and then a pick six not there shortly thereafter. And really at that point it got to a 13-0 score, and then you went in the locker room with a 20-7, and then it never really, rather 13-7, Coach. And then it never really got going there for the Black Tornado. Had some chances there in the second half, but just couldn't quite convert. But as we talked about many times here tonight, that when you look at the stat sheet, the Black Tornado dominated on offense, but the score certainly didn't indicate the outcome.
The stats will not tell the story of this game other than turnovers and penalties. And, you know, you see that a lot in first games, especially at the high school level. A lot of young kids, a lot of excitement. But they'll get back into practice on Tuesday and see if they can clean up some things before next week's ball game.
But certainly on the ground, you know, Meeker, as we talked about,
he runs really hard.
And I think certainly he's a bright spot there. And A.J. Pugliano, who has certainly got a bright future down in Eugene following the completion of his high school career. So, you know, again, Coach Chin's got some good athletes out there, just got to start putting it together.
Clean it up. Season's a long season. One game doesn't define who you are as a team. And I'm sure that Coach Chin will be emphasizing the positive things from the takeaway from this game to build on.
So I want to go ahead, Coach.
Well, I think there are a lot of things that they can build on too. I saw a lot of improvement as the game wore on, and they're going to have to tighten up a few things for sure. And it was a tough situation to put your sophomore quarterback in there after the starter went out injured, but he did a fine job overall. Bright future for that kid.
So final score 27-7 on the John L. Scott scoreboard. And with that lone touchdown, Rogue Credit Union will donate $10 to North Medford's athletic department for every touchdown scored throughout the year. Either South Medford or North Medford, the dollars will be allocated to those athletic departments. So thank you so much to Rogue Credit Union and to all of our sponsors for the wonderful contribution and the generosity to allow to keep these games complimentary for everybody watching. And Alithia Superstore and Siskiyou Cellular, the presenting sponsor for this broadcast. So, Coach, with the rain in August, some turnovers, some pick sixes, but again, you play, that's why you play the game.
Yep.
That's why you play the game.
Do we have time to go through the stats here, Brian?
Yeah, absolutely.
For the victorious Tigers, they only had 82 yards of total offense. They had 12 yards of total offense in the second half. Had a couple of really big plays, a 34-yard scamper on third down, kind of sealed the fate for the Black Tornado. But so they ended up the game with 82 total yards, 40 running, 42 on the ground. They punted 4 times, fumbled twice, no interceptions, and relatively clean in the penalty category. And they only had 7 first downs. As we flip the page over to the North Medford Black Tornado, they had 205 yards of total offense, 87 on the ground, 118 through the air. They punted twice, 4 fumbles, 3 interceptions, and 70 yards of penalties. And they had 10 first downs. So as we said, the stat, you don't win. There's no such thing as a moral victory, and the stats don't tell the story all the time. The scoreboard does. Final score, 27-7. Tigers scored 20 in the first half, 7 in the second half, and the lone score for the Black Tornado was in the third quarter for a sum total of 7 points. Final score, 27-7. So, Brian, what are your thoughts as we wind down this broadcast?
Well, certainly a lot of bright spots for the Black Tornado. Certainly you got to clean up the penalties. And, as we alluded to, without those 2 pick sixes, this is a much closer football game. And you certainly wonder if the play calling would be a little bit different when you're either team. One is forced to try to move the football, and one is just forced to run out the clock. So, but if I'm head coach Nate Chin, you got A.J. Pugliano, you've got a big offensive line. You run the football well. You put up a lot of offense here. So certainly a lot of positives coming out of this. And then Tigard on the other side in that Three Rivers League. You've got a tough sledding there in that conference. So the Black Tornado will go to 0-1 on the year, and Tigard will go to 1-0 on the year. So, Coach, thank you so much for coming and being a part of this. Always a pleasure here. Mr. Strickland, thank you so much. The man behind the lens, the wizard, kind of does it all here. There's nothing that he can't do. And I want to thank you to all of our wonderful sponsors as well to bring these games to you complimentary. And Alithia Superstore for their generous contributions as well in Siskiyou Cellular throughout Southern Oregon. So we'd like to thank you, and we'd like to thank Tigard High School and the athletic director, Ryan Taylor, for the wonderful accommodations here at Tigard High School and the wonderful hospitality. Our next broadcast can be caught tomorrow night. Go to TableRockSports.net to catch all of the action. Again, final score from Tigard High School, 27-7 on the John L. Scott scoreboard. This has been a special presentation by Table Rock Sports in partnership with the NFHS Network. Again, final score 27-7. The Tigers take down the Black Tornado to open up the season. Thank you all. Have a wonderful Labor Day weekend. God bless, and good night from Tigard High School.